It's time to review some movies. That's right, everybody. We're going to review the hell out of some movies. We're doing the Iron Claw and Players. And let's kick it off with the Iron Claw. You ready, buddy?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So the Iron Claw is the story of the Von Erich family. They were considered the first family of wrestling. Very famous. Kevin Von Erich, Kerry Von Erich, David Von Erich, Michael Von Erich. There's actually a Chris Von Erich as well, but he was not in the story. And I think that's all they portrayed, really. And then it's the story of these wrestling family that came out. They were trained by their father, and they were always thought to have a curse on them because they all died at a young age except for Kevin. And this is that story about how all of them sort of died, and then kind of subsequently the things and the effect it had on the rest of the family. So this is an A24 film. It's very dramatic, very well told. Zac Efron playing Kevin. I really, really enjoyed this movie. And James it says that it's a crime that it didn't get nominated. I think it should have been nominated for Best Picture. I do agree. I don't know that anyone other than Zac Efron needed to be nominated for a Best Actor, if any. And the best actors that are nominated already, I think, do outshine Zac Efron. So I don't think it was robbed in any other way than it would have been a good Best Picture nominee. How do you feel about this movie, Paul?
So I was impressed. I didn't realize it was A24 told the end of the movie. So, before I started talking about the actual movie, just getting to the end, I was like, holy shit, this was A24. Like, this was very beautiful. Because I'm kind of used to their horror, which is kind of a hit or miss. It's usually a hit. But so just seeing them be able to do just a proper drama, I thought they told the story beautifully. I think they did the family justice because I didn't know anything about this. My roommate and my Nickelback best friend are obsessed with wrestling. So they saw this in theaters together and they were like, nah, you have to see it. It's good even for someone who doesn't know anything about wrestling. They were like, you will enjoy it and it makes sense. And they do explain what's going on. And so I waited to see it at home. And I will say, as someone that's not, I know Hulk Hogan, I might know Ric Flair, I know the big names kind of, but I know nothing past that. So I thoroughly enjoyed it as much as you could because, the true story of what happened to all of them, that's awful. It broke my heart. I was like, God damn, man. I had to look it up just because I was like, this can't be true. Now we're down to, this brother being gone and now this one. I'm like, no, they're just trying to lay it on thick. And I'm like, holy shit. And like you said, they left out one and I'm like, well, fuck, man.
And they left one out for effect of they thought it would be too depressing because that would be 3 suicides in a row.
Right.
And they didn't want to be too depressing on it. And I got that. And it was the only thing I wonder, and I wish I could find out more information. I haven't yet. And I have been trying to do more research, is Kerry, the one that Jeremy Allen White played, he was married and had kids because his daughter has grown up and she was a wrestler as well for a while. I think she's retired now. I'm not sure. But so by that time, I think he had been divorced by that time. But they'd never made mention of him having a family. But I think it was, and he had a couple of arrests, which I don't care if you mention the arrests or not, because I get maybe not wanting to sully his name or anything like that. That's fine. Right. I get that. But I wonder why the family wasn't mentioned, because at least it would have added some context of maybe not him leaving the WWE is why or WWF why he's depressed, but losing his family, like that sort of situation. So I just didn't quite grasp that, or I would like to maybe learn more about how come they left that part out.
And I'll say.
Oh no, it was just James saying I knew nothing about the family, so I was expecting a standard rise and fall type biopic, but I was not expecting the fall. Yeah, this was this is a tough story. Yeah, I knew going in. I warned my wife too. I was like, this is not an easy story. I was like, all but one, go. I was like, all but one, and shoot, and even in the beginning, I was like, because I knew one passed away real young in the beginning too.
Yeah.
I knew it was all, and I told her, I was like, at the end, I was like, but Kevin has a family of 25 people now. I was like, and he's leading a happy life. I do love how the ending kind of plays out for both of them, for all of them, I should say, for everyone. Even the father sort of gets his comeuppance in it. It's just a really well told story, and Zac Efron, I think, deserves a lot of credit. Everyone deserves credit for their performances.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, just
But I'm
their
sorry.
physical nerve, just everything they did just to get in shape for this movie. I was thoroughly impressed. When I first saw Zac Efron, I was like, it's got to be a bodysuit. Bodysuit. Let me look it up, and I was like, oh no, he put on the pounds. Like he did it to get in shape for that. And I mean, he's no joke body wise.
Yeah,
Normally, but to bulk up like he did for this, I was like, holy shit, dude! Like, good on you. Like you were dedicated. All of them were dedicated to fit the roles and look almost identical to the actual brothers, which I thought was really cool.
yeah. They did such a great job, and they looked very similar. The only thing I would argue is that that Kerry, who Jeremy Allen White played, was a bit taller than Kevin, I think. If not taller,
Okay.
like he was at least beefier.
Gotcha.
And Zac Efron's character was like, it seemed way bigger than Kevin. I mean, it's semantics. I don't care. Like it
Right.
didn't affect it in any way, shape, or form. But I think we both gave this one a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's a pretty strong movie. It definitely is
great.
seal approval. Go see this movie. The Iron Claw is a great story of a tragic family dynasty of American wrestling. And
I explained this. Oh, sorry.
No,
I was just going to say,
ahead.
as far as I recommend movies for Iron Claw, when my family was asking what I thought about this for certain family members, I was like, well, I know you watch Virgin Suicides and you did enjoy that movie. I was like, this one kind of has the same overall feeling about it. Granted, Virgin Suicides isn't the Iron Claw or like this whole true story, but if that's the kind of vibe you're going for, this one fulfills that vibe. As far as that goes.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. It's a tragedy, man. Yeah, you're I'm right up there. I agree. And then then we go a little bit lighter for we figured new for Valentine's Day we'd watch Players. Because if you're gonna have a movie about players in this day and age, woke central, it's gotta be a movie like this. Where a bunch of journalists, I guess, they work for a newspaper. Yeah. I don't know what's happening. I don't even know what year it is. In this movie, she's a sports columnist for a newspaper. They all work for a newspaper. You can tell already how I feel about this movie. And I'm trying to be enthusiastic, but it's tough it's very convoluted. So to get laid, they all team up and pull different like con jobs on people to get their friends. They're basically wingmen and women for each other, and that's it. That's all they do. And they pull stupid little antics to get each other laid, rather than actually just talk to somebody like a human being. So, and it works because in these movies they always do. Right. So it stars Gina Rodriguez, Tom Ellis, who played Lucifer on the show Lucifer, Damon Wayans Jr., Liza Koshy, and 2 white guys I've never seen before in my life. And they're honestly 2 of the most annoying people I've ever seen in my life. They really drove me nuts. So let's get into it. I'm just going to put the ratings up. Mine was a 1, and I would have gone lower. I didn't hate Gina Rodriguez in this.
Right.
Like she was a likable character. No, she wasn't a likable character. She just has natural charisma that I like. But you gave it a 3, so I'll let you just roll with it. Go ahead.
So this is kind of the opposite effect of the movies that we reviewed last week, where my expectations for this movie were exactly what this fucking movie was. I knew what I was in for. I knew it was going to be some cheesy shit of, like you said, pulling cons that would never work in real life. Some little jokes here, someone getting serious with someone and not working out. So I thought it was exactly what it was. I really have a soft spot for Damian Jr. I'm not gonna lie. I like the roles he plays.
I like him. I like him a lot. Yeah.
I thought this movie, I gave it a 3 because I thought it's exactly what its wheelhouse was. It's not supposed to be some sophisticated comedy or this and that. It's supposed to be, it's called Players. You know what you're in for. It's going to be about players doing dumb shit. I don't know. To me, it was just exactly what it was. So I at least gave it a 3 because I don't think it disappointed for what it was in the category it was supposed to be in.
I think this is drivel that was puked on paper by ChatGPT probably. And it's everything that was ever wrong with rom-coms that we now know that ever but what they did was they gender swapped and they just made Jake Ryan an asshole.
Yeah.
They made Jake Ryan an asshole rather than a nice guy who comes with the cake at the end. At the end, he just doesn't like, and so, oh my God. And she ends up with Ducky. I hate this fucking movie.
I mean, I'm not sitting here like I love it. Like I still won't be telling people you've got to watch this new Netflix movie.
Like,
but
no, it's 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink, but it's 16 Candles story with more Molly Ringwald from 16 Candles, but with fucking what's his name instead of Jake Ryan? What's his name? David Spade's character from Pretty in Pink as the guy she's chasing.
Right.
And instead of Michael, this movie sucks. This movie's terrible. This movie is terrible. I wish I could give it a 0. I just don't do that. There are people who worked on this thing, and they did put work into it. And actually, at least I kind of can appreciate the fact that that the Yankees are in it, and I like the Yankees. That's it.
Take a star off just because of that. My fault. You just remind me of that. Yeah.
The score off. All right, listen. Well, that's our ratings for Players. Watch it or don't watch it. That's your eyes. Good luck. Anyway, mixed movie pick for this week comes from 1997, and we've been talking about it quite a bit. Mafia movies, and I think this one is an underrated gem. It is Donnie Brasco from 1997. I don't know if a lot of people have seen this. If you have, maybe watch it again. But a lot of it doesn't. I think it goes untalked about a lot, and when we're talking about gangster or mafia movies, it's a fantastic movie. I urge everyone to go check it out if you haven't, and especially for that time period. I think it had a lot of influence on like what The Sopranos getting ready to come out and things like that, and it's a terrific movie. So I want to thank all our guests tonight.